All right, so we talked a little bit about value. Now we're going to talk about how we talk about those two drivers of success: lifetime value and scale. We're going to talk about sort of the last one first. We're going to talk about how online businesses find customers and bring them into their world. So, when a business, well, customers exist out there in the world, right? Businesses serve a specific avatar, and that avatar exists outside of their world. Now, businesses have to go out and find those people and bring them into their little ecosystem and start them up that value ladder, that value exchange that ascends them up to a higher LTV, right? And the first step is that initial meeting, that initial trade of time and energy, and maybe contact details or money for that initial trade of value, right? So businesses do all sorts of things to facilitate that trade to happen. You've got paid ads, you've got all sorts of stuff. We'll talk about that in another video. But the way businesses have to think about it is you have to think about, okay, who's my avatar? What's something valuable and attractive that I can give them that they'll be interested in making that initial trade for, right? Once you've determined that, then the business has to think of, okay, how do I get out in front of my target market, my avatar, right? And this is where, when I was a kid, I grew up deer hunting, and this was a really helpful mental model that I had already built in. It was really helpful when I started copywriting, is I already understood this, right? As a deer hunter, you have to think, okay, where are the deer? How do I go and find them? What bait can I lay out in front of them to lure them in, so then I can make that, well, in this case, not so great a trade for the deer, but great trade for me. But in business, it's much the same. You need to think, where's my target market? Where are they at? Now that I've got this thing and this valuable thing, maybe it's even just a YouTube video or a post they can read or something where you can dangle something valuable in front of them, and they can make that first investment of time and energy, either contact information or some money in the very beginning, to begin that first step up that ladder, right? And depending on how well you provide that initial value depends on how likely they are to move up. So it's kind of the mindset you need to have when you're looking at a business. Okay, who's their avatar? Where does this avatar exist online? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Facebook? Do they follow this person? What are their interests? Et cetera, et cetera. Where are they at? And what valuable thing can I offer them in exchange for that initial investment, right? So that's the first step. A big part of this is being able to catch their attention, right? So say you're running Facebook ads, say you're posting, say you show up on their feed, you have to find a way to stand out. It's called a pattern interrupt. They're kind of in a trance. They're going through just like reading and consuming or going about their day, and you need to make sure that whenever you put your marketing message in front of them, it causes them to stop, sort of wake up and notice it, see what it is, develop some curiosity and desire, and make that initial trade, right? So a big part of it is coming up with a way to make a pattern interrupt, to catch their attention in the sea of millions of marketing messages or content that they might see. So that's a big part of it. And this is the beginning, right? This is the very beginning for a business. Beginnings are really important. First impressions are really important, right? So this is how you start to establish trust. The relationship that a brand has with their customers is the real asset, right? If you have enough customers, as you've developed a trust-based relationship where you've given them value and they've given you things, and you've given them value and they've given you things over and over and over again through content, through products, et cetera, et cetera. The more of those you have, the wealthier you are. That's an asset that can feed you, can provide you value for eternity, right? All business owners know this. They're all really, really conscious about that relationship they have with their audience. So it's important for you to be able to step in and facilitate that. But this first encounter, when you're bringing this avatar, this potential customer into the business's world, is extremely important. Think about where they are, what's valuable that you can give them, what's a creative and interesting way you can put them in front of them that is a pattern interrupt that wakes them up and gets them interested in. How can you facilitate that exchange? How can you stack the value of that thing that you're giving them to seem so much worth so much more than that email address or that $5 or that 30 minutes of watching a video, et cetera, et cetera. This is key. This is the mindset you need to have when you need to think about how to help businesses find new customers and bring them in. There's a million different ways to do it. In the next video, I'll talk about different methods to make it happen. But this is essentially the mindset you need to have to make it work.